Welcome to the Painting Coach. I'm Lloyd, and today we are going deep underground into the Tomb World. A huge thanks to Games Workshop for sending me out the new Kill Team Tomb World box. Let's see what's inside. All right, let's jump into Kill Team Tomb World and have a look at the instructions. So, basic fare, it's just the A5 booklet again in the big kit. So let's see what we've got. So we've got all the sprues. So we've got the Deathwatch kill team. There's 3 sprues with 5 marines on each sprue. We've got the Necrons, we've got the terrain, and we've got Necron Warriors as well. So here we've got the different weapons for the Deathwatch kill team. And first up, we've got this plethora. So you get 2 sets of 3 frames in this box to make 10 Deathwatch kill team members. So you basically get all of this twice. So there's loads of different components in there, lots of different shoulder pads. The Lamenters one is an interesting one. Because the checkers are sculpted onto it. And the reason I say that's interesting, I mean, there's a Lamenters one there. We'll have a look at the sprues anyway, is that I think it's going to be quite difficult to paint, actually, but it is good that we got a sculpted option. So first up, we've got the Watch Sergeant, but you can also build the Blade Master Veteran with this option as well. So the only difference between them really is the weapons. So the body is built exactly the same. It's just different weapons. It's the same backpack. Next up, you've got the Demolisher Veteran or the Aegis Veteran. Again, same body, it's just the weapon options that are different. They've got the same backpack as well. Again, depending on how you want to build it. So then we move on to the next one, which is the Gunner or the Marksman. So the Gunner's got a heavy plasma incinerator. I really love the heavy plasma incinerator. It's cool. And then you've got the Marksman Veteran. So you might notice here, slightly different backpack, so it's just in terms of the optics and the targeters that are on there. Obviously, there's the power cord for the heavy plasma incinerator as well. Next up, we've got the Gravis Boys. So you can actually build 3 of the Gravis Boys, but there's only 2 in the kit, so you'll have to choose carefully. So you can do the Horde Slayer, which has got a heavy bolter, heavy flamer combo. You can do the Bombard Veteran, which has got the frag cannon, which I think is my favourite Deathwatch weapon. Then you've got a Breacher Veteran, who's kind of got melter bombs, a heavy bolt rifle with a grenade launcher on there as well. I'm probably going to keep the parts from this guy and use them on just like a normal heavy intercessor squad for 40k, I think. But I love Gravis armor. I think Gravis armor is my favourite Space Marine armor, so I'm completely sold on these guys. Absolutely adore them. And then we've got the Phobos Marine. So you do a Head Taker Veteran or a Disruptor Veteran. I'm not a massive fan of these 2 models. I like the Phobos armor. I think Mass Phobos is quite cool. I'm not a huge fan of these, but they have their place in the Deathwatch. And they're fairly straightforward to build. And there's a squad of 5. Kind of built and painted. You'll have seen these on Warhammer Community anyway, and of course on the Warhammer website. So like I said, you get 10 Marines. You can play with 5 of them at any one time, and you've got 2 options for all of them, apart from the Gravis, who does have 3 options, but you only have the 2 bodies, so you will have to choose fairly carefully there. Next up, we have the Necrons. Now, if any of you heard about me talk about the new Necrons, I quite like them, but I find them very, very fiddly to build. And straight away, I'm worried about building the Geomancer, because just seeing how some of these bits go together, how they fit through, the connection points, that's going to be, I feel, for me and my fat fingers, could be a little bit of a challenge. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, I am going to build them. I will show you the built models as well before I paint any of them. So we'll see, but it just looks complicated. I'm hoping that because of the way it's sculpted that it's not, but we will see. So this, again, it's a really cool looking model. Next up, we've got the Tomb Crawlers, which are surprisingly big. I thought they'd be small, but they're quite big. That is a 50mm base that they're on. So they are some quite chunky boys and girls in there. You've got 2 different weapon options on them. And then you've got the Macrosite kind of troop, we'll call them. So you can build them in different ways. You've got your operatives, you've got the Microsite Reanimator, which I'm going to assume just goes around bringing stuff back to life. Then you've got the Accelerator, which reminds me very much of what the kind of Scorpion destroyers have following them around. Of course, you can build them as either thing. So you've got the 2 operatives. Let's just double check it's 2 operatives. Yes, so it's the Reanimator and it's the Accelerator. Sorry, I'm just checking. Yes. And then you can build the Macroside Warriors. So you've got a couple of them as well, which look pretty cool. So you've got 1, 2 of those as well. So there we are. So that's the, 3 of them, sorry. So maybe 4. Yes. So you've got 3 warriors, 2 specialists, and then you've got the big guys there as well. And they look painted. They look really, really cool. So next up is possibly the Deathwatch kill team is the star of the show for me, but the terrain looks phenomenal. Now, I've had a quick look through these instructions, and like the terrain is fairly straightforward. It's going to be because it's clip it off the sprue, clean down all kind of the mold lines on it, and it's good to go. But there's lots of stuff. So when you build it, be very careful and aware. There's lots of bits you don't glue. So for example, don't glue the doors in, because they can be doors, they can be open, they can be portals. Some of them you're going to have to glue on to get the stability there. But also we've got things like this, a short wall with a breach point, and there's a breach point in here as well. So obviously you're not going to glue those in. Now what I'll probably do is put them into prime. I don't know if I might use a little bit of blue tack or something. Maybe I won't use anything. Maybe I'll just do them completely separately. And then pop them out to do them. But it's important you don't glue those in, because obviously they're going to have a function in the game. And the other thing I noticed as well is these pillars, is we're gluing 2 parts of the pillar together, but we're not gluing them onto anything else. So once I have a look properly into the into the book, I'm assuming that the terrain will make different configurations when you're in different parts of the tomb. So you're obviously not gluing the pillars on there, because that just gives you the flexibility. Might be a little bit of a pain to build, but it'll be fine. We'll work our way through it. Then we've got some accessories. So we've got a sarcophagus, which is really cool. So it's got a Necron Lord in there, and it's got a little bit of a cover on there as well, which I think is pretty funky. And you just got some debris and teleport pad as well on there. Last thing we've got in here is just some Necron Warriors. There's 10 Necron Warriors in the kit. They're the same ones that you can buy. And these are the NPOs, the non-playable operatives. So the Tomb World plays these. So basically it's just added hazard for you as a player going in there. So again, fairly standard. Again, this is where I talk about some of the connection points being a bit like iffy. So I probably won't build any Necron Warriors just for my sanity. So those are the instructions. Let's have a look at the sprues. We'll start with the first sprue for the Deathwatch kill team. So this is the legs, bodies, some of the backpacks kind of sprue. So you can see you've got, so let me show you these very quickly. So in terms of the Deathwatch shoulder pad options, you've got a smaller one, which is the Phobos. You've got the bigger one, which is for the Gravis. And then you've got this one, which is a normal size one for the just the normal Tacticus armor. And you get 3 of those on each of these sprues. You also get, obviously, the sculpted shoulder pads on there as well. And then you've got the head options. So let me flip that round so you can have a little look at the head options. I love the fact there are so many heads on this sprue and so many shoulder pads. So you get lots of spares. So remember, you get 2 sets of these to build 10 Marines. You've got 2 options for each one, which means you're going to have all the other options left over. So if you used normal intercessor bodies as well, normal Gravis bodies, you could make another Deathwatch kill team with the spare parts you've got left over. So that's the kind of the first sprue. This is the second sprue, which has more of the weapons. So you see you've got the phase blade for the Blade Master, the power sword for the Watch Sergeant, the power Storm Shield, Thunder Hammer. Again, more shoulder pads. I've tried to use kind of there's an Iron Snake one there. I love Iron Snake. I'm going to use Iron Snake for my Watch Sergeant. Brotherhood of the Snake, or Brothers of the Snake, I'm not sure of the name, is my favourite 40k novel there. So, you know, and then you've got, again, more head options. I can do my head taker as a white scar, so I'm going to use that head for my head taker rather than the Watch Sergeant. So again, more head options. And the last sprue is probably the specialist sprue, I guess. So this has got the Gravis pads. Now, generally with the Gravis pads, they're first found in chapters. So you've got Imperial Fist, you've got Raven Guard, Salamanders. However, you do have some Nova Marines there, Flesh Terrors, and you've got some Dark Angels. And you've got these smaller pads as well for the Phobos Marines, which I think are nice. You've got some base debris as well that you can decorate them with. And you've got the bigger Gravis backpacks, heavy bolt rifle with grenade launcher there. You've got all the other little bits and pieces to make these pretty bad. There's your frag cannon. I love the frag cannon. It's an awesome weapon. So those are the Space Marines. Of course, I will show you them built shortly, but let's have a look at the Necrons. First up, we have the Geomancer. So again, I'm a little bit intimidated when it comes to building this model, but I'm hoping it'll be fine. Stay tuned to see how that actually goes. But I do like the new Necrons. Obviously, the new tech that they use means you can get some really, really cool looking Necrons. And just as long as it doesn't give me the same kind of nightmare as the flayed ones, I think I'll be all right. So that's the Geomancer. And then you've got the first sprue here. So you've got the Tombstalkers on there. All the kind of different weapon options. So these are going to be quite chunky boys. So I'm looking forward to building them. And again, because they're quite chunky, they should be fairly straightforward to paint. Fingers crossed. You know, the standing with Necron, spray him silver, give him a wash, off you go. And then you've got all the other ones as well, which is kind of floating around, killing stuff. They look quite. I was going to say they look quite fragile, but actually this one does look a little bit. But these three, they look pretty robust because they've got these fairly chunky bits of terrain they're flying around. So again, feel free to pause the video at any point if you want to have a look at them. But those are the Necrons. I'll very briefly show you the Necron Warriors sprue as well. So again, you get 10 Necron Warriors in here with the different weapon options, and you get 2 Scarab Swarms as well, which are nice little pests to go around killing stuff. And then we have the terrain. So let's start off with the accessories. So we've got 2 teleporter pads. We've got the sarcophagus with our, well, I'm assuming it's a Necron Lord asleep in there. And you've got the little cover that goes over the top as well, which I think is a really nice touch. And then you've got the kind of bits of terrain debris, which are going to provide you with some bits of cover. I'm just looking at these. They're okay. So yeah, they're pretty good in terms of the connection points. So they can be really easy to clean up. So there are 6 lengths of this terrain. So let's have a little look through some of them. So first up, we've got this. I love this. I just love it. Like reanimation. It just reminds me of the Borg from Star Trek. There's all the reanimation. You've got some doors there. You've got these columns, the corner columns. If you flip them over, you can see that they're all lettered as well. So you know you're going to stick the right one to the right one. That's very important, especially for me, because I'm very good at sticking the wrong thing to the wrong thing. And you've got your, I suppose these are medium walls. So you get another one of those. So there's 2 of those. Then you get the shorter walls. So these short walls, again, you've got the columns on there. You've got the breach points as well. So that bit will go into there. And then it'll be able to pop out for gaming purposes. And you get 2 of those. And lastly, you get 2 of these as well, which is, again, the longer wall there. You've got another wall with a breach point to go there, which is pretty cool. You've got your end pillars. You've got a portal, again, which you don't glue in, so you can change it. It'll just sit in there, which is cool because it gives you a bit more of a dynamic battlefield, which I think is awesome. Then you've got this end piece again, which is another Necron being reanimated. I love this terrain. Going to jump into the books next. We won't. We'll have a look at some built models first. And then we'll go from there. But I'm really liking the terrain, but I will have a look through the book to see how it goes together and whether that changes. Let's look at some built models then, and we'll start with the Watch Sergeant. So I've made mine an Iron Snake with plasma pistol and power sword there. Next up, we've got a Demolisher Veteran, so I made him a Spear of the Emperor, relatively new chapter of Space Marines. Then we've got our Gunner, who I made a Scythe of the Emperor, just because I feel that they should be doing some gunning there, so you can see the backpack and everything. Actually fitted together quite nicely. It wasn't that difficult to get everything to line up, which is always a bonus. Then we've got the Head Taker, which I said I was going to do as a White Scar, so I've used that kind of White Scar looking head there as well for the model. And then I built this Gravis one as a Salamander. So this has got the Horde Eradicator, which was a little bit iffy. You see that the barrel doesn't quite line up there, which is a bit annoying. The other thing I really want to kind of bring up on these Marines is as you're looking at them, you might notice they look very shiny. The reason they look very shiny is because I had to use a lot of Tamiya extra thin to smooth out some of the mold lines. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if there's a little bit of a mold slip or something, but the mold lines on these were very bad. And I thought it might just have been that one sprue. So I went and checked the other sprue, and that sprue's got pretty bad mold lines as well. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a mold slip, or perhaps they've made loads of them and it's just a little bit of degradation. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I know it took me a very long time to build these because there's a lot of mold slips. There's a lot of mold lines down the centers of all the legs and things like that. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but they've all turned out okay. Some more there I need to clean up that I've missed. So next up are the Necrons. Let's start off with this lady. Now, I thought this was going to be an absolute nightmare to build. I'm happy that I was proved wrong in the main. It all went together very nicely. The connection points are great, apart from, you see this little extra shiny one there, when you stick the rest of the body onto the bottom of the tail. It's quite challenging. Now, this staff is supposed to be part of the prop to hold it all up. So what I would suggest you do is glue this on first. There's only a small connection point there, but make sure that's really well set first, and then go to glue this bottom bit and that bit there. That should give you some more stability, and you'll have to hold it in place as well. But I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Next up, we've got the first of the Tomb Stalkers. Now, this was a little challenge to fit on the base. But like I said, these are chunky boys. So if we look at next to the Gravis Marine, it's bigger. So it is a nice big chunky boy. So this one's fairly stationary, I guess. Whereas this one is a lot more dynamic. It's got his little claw poking up there. Now, another thing to remember, it's not clear from the instructions that that leg is supposed to be up like that. So if you have a look at the box art and everything on there, a bit of a glue strand there, you will see that it's meant to be lifted up in the air, because otherwise you'll glue it in the wrong place and it won't fit. So just a top tip there. And I built 2 of the macrocytes. This is the reanimator. These are really easy to put together. They go together quite nicely. Worth saying as well on the Necrons, the mold lines are fine. Like they're nothing worse than you'd normally get on a kit, but they were very easy to clean up. Whereas with the Space Marines, they were very difficult. And then I've done the macrocyte reanimator as well. So there we go. That's the Necrons as well. So overall, finished models are great. I love them. Like I said, I struggled with the mold lines on the Space Marines. I don't know if that's going to be an issue across the kit or whether it's just my kit because there's a little bit of mold slip. I don't know, but it's not insurmountable. You can clean them up. It just takes a little bit longer. Now, you also get the game board in the box, which is a nice chunky bit of card. Now, this is far too big for me to show on camera, but I just want to kind of give you an idea. It's a really nice design. Obviously, you've got your wall lines as well to hopefully make it easy to line stuff up. Obviously, teleport pad goes there. So that's the kind of the game board. You then have all your tokens. We've got our kill team tokens. We've got our Necron tokens. That's quite cool. I wonder what that is. I'm sure it says somewhere. The floor is lava. Do not stand on that or get in the way of that, I'm guessing. We have our Necron operative cards. So we've got all the kind of the specialists in there. We've got the kill team information. So who can be in the kill team. And then we've got the equipment, the strategy ploys, the firefight ploys, marker token guide. So we know it's an obelisk node matrix template. So whatever that is, we now know. And then the universal equipment on there. We then have the same for the Deathwatch, so the sergeant and all the different operatives. So, you know, they're all specialist operatives when it comes to the Deathwatch. There's no, or there is a head taker veteran. There is no actual just plain old Deathwatch. You've got the kill team, so you can 5 operatives selected from the list, but you can only have 1 Gravis operative at a time. And then you've got the faction rules, equipment. And then you've got the same thing. You've got the strategy ploy, the firefight ploy, marker token guide, melter bomb, love a melter bomb. And then you've got all the different equipment there as well. The last set of cards is, again, it's more kind of Necron stuff. So you've got the Canoptech Tomb Crawler, Necron Warriors. I wonder if that should be somewhere else. What's that? Oh, looks like they're mixed up. So you've got the macrocytes there as well. And then you've got the Tomb World event card. So that's quite cool. So different things happening in the tomb as you're kind of in there. That's awesome. I love that. I think this is going to make for a really nice kind of ever-changing battlefield. So you're going to have to react to things that are going on in there. I think that's really cool, actually. And last but by no means least, we have the Kill Team Dossier. So as ever, I'm just going to flick through this very quickly because I can't kind of dwell on any of the rules for you. And also getting the lighting right with the shiny pages is a bit of a nightmare. So hopefully we can see them all as we go through. So this is the kind of all the background that we've got on there about the tomb kind of being reanimated. So it's Kill Team Vascovian going in there. Lovely cinematic and atmospheric pictures there. Obviously, supremely well painted models from the heavy metal team. And then you've got some information about the Deathwatch, the Xenotech, the operatives as well, who can do what. And then we've got a little bit of lore. Then we've got the Canoptech Circle, just all the information around that, the operatives you get with that. And then we've got the kill team rules. They're so good. I love the Deathwatch. One of those armies that when I was first getting into 40k really kind of captured my imagination because of the fact that they're drawn from different Space Marine chapters, whether it's an honor, whether it's because they've done something bad and they have to redeem themselves. I just think it's great. And you've got the different shoulder pads, you get that variation. Then you've got the Canoptech Circle kill team as well. Just again, they're really cool Necron models. Then you've got all the kind of information on there. Then you've got the mission. So very kind of quickly look at the terrain, because I'm going to assume that, I mean, that just tells you how it all works. What's what. So then we've got, okay, so then we've got the tomb world set out that way. And I'm going to assume you can set it up different ways as well. So yeah, you've got the different missions in there as well. So I imagine there will be additional things to come out where you have additional ways of setting up the terrain as well. So there we have it. That's what's inside Kill Team Tomb World. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing. You find these kind of videos useful and they help inform your purchases. Please do let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see anything else or you'd like to see me do something a little bit differently. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.